This is going to be a very interesting video because what I'm going to be doing is basically building a Claude project that can act as an accountability partner and a journal reviewer for day traders. Well, you don't have to be a day trader, but traders in general, because I've come to found that a lot of people avoid journaling altogether because of the time it takes to review their data. But what if we could automate all of that? And I'm going to do so in a very simple manner because I am in no shape or form some sort of AI expert or tech expert. So we're going to create a Claude project and then we're going to build on top of that. And we're going to do it together, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to head over to the Claude website, okay? So the website is claude.ai. Now, I am on the pro version. I don't think you would necessarily need the pro version for this. But once you're at this very page here, right, back at it, whatever your name is, we're going to do one specific thing, okay? We are, in fact, going to write out everything we need in order to create the perfect prompt. Because a lot of people sit at home and they say, I don't know how to create a prompt. But in my opinion, this here is one of the best ways you can possibly create a prompt, right? So we go like this. Hey, Claude, nobody understands how to talk to yourself better than you. I need you to help me create the ultimate prompt that will ensure my AI understands how to review trading data that I send it, how to act and behave as an accountability partner, how to identify mistakes made within the trading data, how to identify, and again, I'm just going with the flow here. I literally have not done this myself, but I sat and thought, I spend hours doing this every single day. We might as well automate it. So again, how to identify mistakes made within the trading data, how to identify patterns that are consistently repeated within that data. It also needs to understand human psychology as it is going to act as an accountability partner, which means when I, at the end of the day, send it a trading summary, it needs to act as if it is my trading mentor reviewing my daily performance. Please help me craft the ultimate prompt that will ensure that I get the maximum output from Claude. Go. Okay, so we're going to send this, and then we're essentially going to see what prompt it gives us, okay? Because prompts need to be extremely and incredibly detailed, right? And if I were to sit and write all of that out, first of all, I'll probably make endless mistakes because I am, again, as I said, in no shape or form an AI expert. So we're just going to use AI to create a prompt for AI because, again, it makes sense, right? I mean, nobody knows how to talk to AI better than AI themselves. So here's the prompt that it is giving us. You're my personal trading mentor and accountability partner. Your name is Edge. You have 20 plus years of professional trading experience across equities, crypto, and derivative markets. Okay, so this prompt looks promising. We're going to wait for it to write it all out, and then we're going to copy it and create our actual project. And at the end of this video, I will give it, a bunch of data so that we can see whether it's accurate or not. And I don't think you need the pro version for this. The thing with Claude is you can use it to a certain extent on the free version, but then I think you reach your maximum amount of messages per day or whatever. So what we're going to do now is just click this button here that says copy. So now we have this entire prompt, right? Then we're going to go into projects, which is right here on the left side of the screen. And here you can see all your projects. We're going to click new project and we're going to name it trade review plus account. You can also separate them if you want. Ability partner. What are you trying to achieve? Doesn't matter. Create project. Okay, so boom, we have the new project and we have instructions and we have files. For instructions, we are going to paste the prompt that we were just given by AI. Okay, so we go into instructions, we click save instructions, and there you go. Now within files, right, you can add PDF documents or other text references in this project to sort of optimize the AI as you would like it to write or perform. So for example, if you have any preferences in terms of how it writes out the stuff that it writes, what grammar it uses, what text it uses, well, then you can do so by going into files, clicking the plus icon here, add context, and then you could, for example, say grammar And you could say, you need to act and behave as if you were a trading mentor. That means, let's see, the hell is this keyboard? Okay. No AI, tonality, use human wording, avoid common AI wording, make it as easy, simple, and tangible as humanly possible. Make even a complete beginner understand what mistakes they are making. Avoid making simple things overcomplicated. Make overcomplicated concepts incredibly simple. Okay, so this is like a simple context that we could add. We click add content, right? And then what we're going to do here is we are essentially going to, let's say that I have been trading for today. We'll say, hey, partner, today was a rough one. I lost a trade I had been waiting 2 hours for. I feel the urge to continue trading, and I'm not sure if it's because I am in a state of, over trading, or whether it's genuinely because the price action looks promising. I don't have, let's see what it says. I don't have any rules regarding this. What would you do in my situation? Okay, so we're gonna send this message here, which is like a fair message that you could send after like a given trading day. So let's see, we're gonna send it and we'll see exactly what it says here. So again, this doesn't really have to be hard, right? I mean, this took literally 5 minutes to create. Okay, so here's the truth. The fact you're asking this question already tells you the answer. When the urge to trade is genuinely and clean, you don't question it. That's pretty accurate, right? You just see the setup. It meets your criteria, you take it. There's no internal debate. The moment you're sitting there and going, is this real or am I just chasing? That's your brain already flagging something that's off. Here's what I do right now. Step away for 20 minutes minimum. That's a good rule. Not to think about the trade. Completely away. Get water, walk around, reset. When you come back, ask yourself one question before touching anything. If I hadn't just taken a loss, would I still be looking into this trade right now? So this is pretty much what a good mentor would do for their mentees, right? Or their students. They'll come to a mentor and they'll say, I took a loss, blah, blah, blah. And this here can act and behave as if you have a mentor. But the difference is this is significantly cheaper than any mentor you could get, right? But the interesting part about this is the trade review. So I'm gonna send Claude 20 different trades here, right? So I have a certain format that I use. In case you're interested in the format that I use, it looks like this. I'll just show you really quick. So this is what the format of my journals look like, right? We have the instrument, the date, the time, the fundamentals, the seasonality, the technicals, the take profit, the stop loss, the entry, the time I was in the trade, the break even, the partials, the emotions, the chart, the P&L, the post-trade thoughts, okay? So that's like my fundamental trade journal template. And I'm going to now paste in 20 different trades to see what it gives me. Okay, and then we can optimize it further from the response that we get. Because most people think that AI is just AI, right? But if you want optimal results from an AI, you need to sort of optimize the AI as much as possible. So there's a good chance that we're going to get a terrible response now, but that's when we sort of optimize, okay? So we're going to say, hey mentor, here are 20 different trades with all the data I collected. I don't have time to review it myself. Please review it according to your instructions and send me back a detailed report that includes my mistakes, my strengths. Sorry, I'm not a grammar queen either. My strengths and what I should do moving forward to ensure progression. All right, let's see what it does here. It's probably going to take a while to sort of go through all the trades. But what I wanted to do here is find patterns within my data, because it's incredibly difficult to do this manually, okay? And I've done it myself, because when I started trading and when I optimized my models based on my data, AI wasn't really a thing. And so I had to do all this stuff manually, and that took literal days. Because if you sit down and you review data from, let's say, the last 150 days and you're a scalp trader, that's a lot of data to go through, right? And so you get lost in all the nonsense. But this should, give you a clear insight into what sort of mistakes you're making and how you can improve upon them. And again, a lot of people will skip this video because they don't know the importance of trading. But let me tell you this right now, okay? I have 2 primary systems that I trade. Those systems has literally directly made me millions of dollars in profit. And I would have never had those if I did not have the data that I had prior to those 2 systems, because they are created on top of my personal errors or personal flaws, right? And that's also why it's incredibly difficult for traders to just copy and paste someone else's system, because it really has to be tailored around your individual needs and flaws, right? So, okay, let's see. It gave us a clear report here. What already I can see a mistake, because I want a report that I can download. I don't just want this. So we're going to stop it and we're going to say, no, I need a report I can download, because you want to be able to just collect as much data as you want. You don't just want, random AI chats with all your data. You want to be able to download it and sort of have it stored somewhere, so you have all your data in sort of one position, okay? So we say, no, I need a report I can download, and it should send us a report with all this stuff. And already, right, I can see that this is way too much nonsense. I mean, there's just way too much text here. So we're also going to optimize that further when we've received the document, and then we're going to pretty much ask it to give us another prompt that we can insert into the project itself, so it remembers exactly what we're sort of teaching it here and optimizing it for, okay? So yeah, we're just going to wait for the document to be created, and then we can optimize it even further. And again, you could use OpenClaw, you could use Claude Code, you could do all these different things to create a software for yourself. I mean, if that's what you want to do, absolutely feel free. But I also understand that most people just are not in a position where that's, in their interest. And so something simple and tangible like what we're creating here is just the better option for a lot of people, because I know the internet makes it seem as if Claude Code is just the end all be all, but it still takes time, right? And so this is a very easy solution, and in my opinion, you do not need more than what we're creating here. Now, I do recommend Claude, though. I don't recommend that you do this on ChatGPT. Again, I have used pretty much every AI available. I've used Claude, I've used OpenClaw, I've used ChatGPT, I've used Gemini, I've used pretty much everything that you can think of, right? And there's just nothing that beats Claude. So if you're currently paying for a ChatGPT membership, I would highly recommend that you switch it to Claude, because there's just nothing that beats it, in my opinion. It is just the best performing AI you could possibly wish for. Now, again, it's not an AI agent, right? But actually, as we speak today, they came out with a similar concept as OpenClaw, where you can give it sort of access to your entire computer and whatnot. We also have Claude Cowork. So again, this is just the end all be all AI, if you ask me. But yeah, let's wait for this report to be created. Okay, so here we have the report. It's a docs document, so we can just download it and save it within all of our other data. And that's exactly what I wanted, right? Because again, I don't want all my data spread in within all these different AI. So here it is. So we have total trades, 20, total winners, 11. We have losers, 9. Okay, so we have a positive win rate. All right, that means we have, let's see, is there like an overall? Oh, even performance by the time of day. That's awesome. So we can clearly see here already, right? I mean, morning sessions, we just do way better. We have a 91% win rate during the morning. That's 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. EST. That has, been my time of trading always, pretty much for the last 5 years or so. And you can see that win rate drops drastically when we move into the afternoon, right? So it drops to 11% from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And so we can already optimize our trading based on the information that we've just gotten here, right? So now we know, okay, we're going to avoid the afternoon session because statistically we're just not as profitable during the afternoon. Calm, focused, confident. We have most of our winners when we are calm, confident, and focused. When we're anxious, frustrated, uncertain, or concerned, we tend to lose more than we win, and that makes sense, right? And I want you guys to understand one thing here. When I write within my trade journal that I'm anxious, I'm frustrated, I'm uncertain or concerned, it's not as if I'm sitting in a state of just shaking or something crazy happened, like I just got in a car crash. That's not what I mean here. Even bad sleep, right, can cause me to be anxious or frustrated. So I don't mean an active anxious state. I mean you're just not at your peak performance. So even if I normally get 8 hours of sleep, but this night I got 4, well, then that is what I'll write within my trade journal, and you can clearly see the difference, right? So the verdict, Your process has a split personality and the numbers prove it. The morning version of you is a decent trader, patient, following setups, taking partials, managing risk reasonably well. That version of you made $812 over this period. The afternoon versions of you is destroying it. And that's just the truth of it, right? When you had a look at the data I just showed you, this is data from years and years ago. The afternoon version of you is destroying. Yeah, so here is the thing that's even more telling. You went 9 for 9 on ETH. Every single ETH trade you took was a winner, and yet you kept going back to Bitcoin. I mean, guys, listen, this is just perfect. I mean, it can literally replace mentors, this stuff, right? So again, here it says that I'm clearly more profitable on Ethereum than I am on Bitcoin. So the question is, why do I keep going back to Bitcoin, right? And that is not a technical problem. It's a psychological one. Mistakes identified. Let's have a look at this. Each mistake is categorized by tier. All right. So tier 1 took a trade in range-bound conditions with no clear setup, root cause, impulse, or boredom. This is pretty much what we need, right? We have it here. Even let's see. So here you can see that there's a clear pattern, right? And we're probably going to see that here. Range-bound trades just do not seem to work for me using the system that I've used with the data that I've given this AI. But let's have a look. Patterns. Patterns confirmed across 2 or more occurrences are flagged as priority focus areas. Okay, so let's see. Bitcoin is a losing instrument for you right now. Status confirmed. 18% win rate across 11 trades, a negative $530 net profit. This is not noise. This is structural. Bitcoin is either outside of your edge or you're approaching it with the wrong mindset. Okay. Afternoon trading destroys P&L. Again, we confirmed that earlier in this report. ETH is your strong instrument. Okay, so Ethereum is where I'm the most profitable. So perhaps I should consider moving, a bit away from Bitcoin and start trading more Ethereum. Negative emotional state equals loss. And again, as I explained earlier, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm sitting here actively crying or I'm just in a state of anger or anything like that. It's even the smallest things, as I mentioned. A little bit of illness, maybe I slept bad, I had an argument with my girlfriend. These things will 7 out of 8 trades literally make me lose, right? You do not sit out range-bound conditions. Trades 8, 12, and 20 were all just self-described as range-bound, taken anyway, and all resulted in a loss. You're not comfortable doing nothing. Okay, so that seemed to be a big issue of mine, right? I was not comfortable doing nothing, and that's a big issue for a lot of traders. But let's have a look at the strengths. Okay, so the strength here is Ethereum setup reading. So again, Ethereum was obviously a good pair of mine. Partial profit taken. You consistently close partials at logical levels. This is disciplined execution and protects capital. Morning focus window, 91% win rate before noon. You arrive, prepared, executed cleanly, and make sound decisions when fresh. And this is also what people have to understand. People think that, oh, I've executed this system for years on end. I don't need to be within my peak performance to execute this edge because I've done it for years. But that's just not true, because the slightest things, as I already mentioned, will have an impact on your decision making. And regardless of what you think you're capable of, you may have traded this for 3 years on end, but your decision making is still what's going to reflect whether you're profitable or not, right? And so the morning is just the more profitable window for 99% of people. It's also why we, for example, go to work in the morning, or why we go to school in the morning, because focus is simply better in the morning, and this proves it. So the focus. One thing only, stop trading Bitcoin in the afternoon, full stop, set a hard cutoff at 12 p.m. for Bitcoin, effective immediately. Not a suggestion, a rule. You have the data, you have no edge there. Until your Bitcoin win rate exceeds 40% overall, Bitcoin trading ends at noon every day, no exceptions. That's a pretty good rule. Okay, so the question, your own post-trade notes on trades 8, 12, and 20 all say some version of patience needed or could have avoided this trade. You already knew in the moment that those trades were wrong and you took them anyway. So the question is not whether you understand the mistake. The question is, what does it tell you about your mental state that knowing something is wrong is not enough to stop you from doing it? Sit with that before your next session. Do not answer it to me. Answer it to yourself. So already, gentlemen, I can't even see, let's see, in 20 minutes, right, we've already created an edge here, literally a perfect journal review system. And the way that you could optimize this from this point forward is entirely up to you, right? So you could, for example, say, oh, I don't want such a long report. So we can say, let's do it just now. We'll say, this is overall a great report. I do believe that we can get the point across faster, though. There is a lot of unnecessary text. Please fix this and make it shorter, more tangible, and easy to understand. I want to be able to read this, understand it, and implement it in 2 minutes. Please rewrite the report accordingly. Okay, so let's see what it comes up when we do this. And after that, right, we can ask it a question that I'll show you so that we can quickly make sure that it understands exactly what we optimized it with moving forward. Okay, so we've got a new report here. Let's just see what it did differently. So it shortened the report significantly, right? This is a lot shorter, a lot less information. And if this is what you prefer, you can absolutely keep this. Right? If you don't need him to sit there and talk as if he's your actual mentor like it did in the other report, and you just want the data, well, then again, you can optimize it like this, and it becomes significantly shorter. So that is of course an opportunity for you if that's what you would like. And if that's the case, you can say, okay, perfect. Now, please create a prompt I can use for your instructions so that you remember how I want these things done moving forward. Okay, so again, just because it saves us time, it probably knows how to speak to itself better than I know how to talk to it, okay? So here it is, save this and paste it at the start of any new conversation. We don't have to do that, I'll show you. All right, here we go. So we paste this, right? We go back into the project, which is up here, and we make another content where we say personal preferences. We paste it here. We click add content, and there we go. Now we've pretty much created an AI that acts as a trade journal reviewer, and it does so in a magnificent way, right? A lot better than I had anticipated, honestly. And so I personally don't think that any trader out there should still be reviewing their data manually because, first of all, this is just going to be way more accurate than you are. It's going to notice patterns that you likely won't. It's also going to save you a tremendous amount of time, and it's going to cost you way less than any mentor out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, if this video was interesting, what we can do moving forward or in the next video is build a Claude Code system that pretty much acts as a trade journal itself. So what we can do is we could give it, a set of rules, really make it understand our trading strategy. It will likely take a while, but it's possible. And then what we can do at the end of every trade session is simply send a screenshot of the trade that we've taken, and then it will review that and write it out as a journal, tell you, was it right, was it wrong, did you follow your rules, what shouldn't you do moving forward, etc. Right? So we can do a lot with Claude, but again, let me know how these guys or how this entire guide or whatever you want to call it landed with you guys. Again, I'm no expert here, but I have quite a lot of experience in Claude, but I want to keep it as simple as possible so that regular people, beginners, people that have a full-time job to take care of can still implement this today, because this took 20 something minutes, and we created a wonderful sort of project that can help us identify mistakes, which is arguably the most important part of your entire career. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.